Wait, Jimmy. Don't say nothing funny yet. Hang on. All right, ready? Action.
Kind of horseshit.
You're now allowed to be funny. Jimmy's funny all the time, and then when the lights and the cameras come on, you're like, "Where's it at?" You wouldn't imagine all the stuff that we miss.
Oh God, that's the reason we started this thing, because we kept talking.
That's the whole
shit
reason
out there,
we started.
having a bourbon and a cigar and just
holding our gut, laughing,
and people
like,
laughing at us saying we got to be on a podcast. We're on a podcast and we're not funny.
Somebody ought to record this stuff. So we started recording it, and now nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit. Yeah. Yeah. All you believers out there, get your friends on.
You know, I think this is episode 75.
It is. I watched 74 yesterday at my sister's house for Easter.
Oh, happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah. Episode 75. You made it. You've been looking for us. You finally found us. Oh, my goodness. Hey, if you go back and watch some of our past episodes, don't start at the bottom. Start at the newest one.
Start at the top. The latest ones will work your way down.
Your way down. Trust me.
And by halfway, you're saying,
you'll
what the hell is this shit I'm watching?
No, we finally, I think we got this figured out.
We definitely cut out the ums and dead air. I mean,
yeah. Or either I got better at editing and you don't realize that. But no, there's still some ums and uhs in there, but not as bad as when we first started. Wow.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
You spent a month editing the first one just
to
get the
pretty
ums.
bad. Yeah. I was terrible. I actually got to realize what the waveform looked like. I just run by and just start cutting them all out before I even got there to them. But anyway.
But it's amazing how you finally get comfortable, just talking into a microphone and stuff and not saying the ums and ahs and what the
yeah. I'll add a beep in for that. All the beeps.
It's not for kids to watch. They can't even buy the alcohol.
Yeah, this isn't for children.
Not for children.
I mean, we're not going to card you at the door, but if you hear something that offends you, don't tell your mama about it.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, you got to hear these guys, man.
Yeah,
they said the F word.
Exactly. Well.
And? Oh, no. We're not going down that rabbit hole yet,
Well,
first of all,
it's a deep subject.
It's a deep side. Before we go to that rabbit hole,
we'll cameo it off, or I don't even think that's the right word for it. We'll break that off and
compartmentalize these topics. So we have a couple of discussion points here. Yeah. First of all,
are you prepared for this podcast? Because I am not.
Well,
I don't think I've ever been prepared for one.
No, we're kind of off the cuff. I mean, we knew we were going to do it, but we talked about it like last night. I'm like, hey, come over because we got a meeting today and we'll do a podcast.
I prepared for 2 of them and they were terrible. So,
I wasn't prepared for this one, but I knew I wanted to talk about this one.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of prepared.
It's kind of prepared, but I mean, so.
Well, take it away, Jim. What you got?
The Blue Origin.
You're going to talk about that. Oh.
Yeah, the astronauts, NOTS, not the NAUTS. Nots. But I have a problem labeling those 5 or 6 women that went to space astronauts for an 11-minute ride. I mean, isn't Space Mountain a longer ride?
I had to wait in line for
forever
for 40 minutes to get on Space Mountain, and the ride was. No, they got me beat. I think the ride was 5 minutes and 20 seconds. But if you're just counting their free fall, and if you're counting my line, the line up and the line back down, I got them beat.
They said 11 minutes from liftoff to landing.
It was basically a 12-minute ride.
11-minute ride. It was an 11-minute ride.
And they were a little, I think they were a little shy of the 4 minutes in
space. And they never went to space.
They didn't. The camera is still looking at them from Earth. They're still surrounded by blue. You just see the 2 go up and separate. They just kind of hang out there for a little while. And so they never went into like what Owens say on Armageddon.
Space. We're just in the beginning part of space. We haven't even gotten to outer space yet.
Well, not outer space, Yeah. So they didn't quite go to outer space.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, and the sad part is they got the title astronauts. Now, I will say the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, came back and said, no, under our rules, under NASA rules, they are not astronauts.
They're not astronauts.
They had to perform 2 feats, and one of them was something good for humanitarian, which that obviously didn't happen. And
so Gail King, I'm pretty sure I'm not getting this one wrong. Gail King actually stated that, well, they did research while they were there. So that's what qualified them to be astronauts. And I'm like, whoa. Hey, somebody tell Gail that the whole thing was recorded. We heard everything you said, and we have video evidence of what you did while you were up there.
Katy Perry was singing. That was not a scientific experiment.
I didn't even hear her sing.
Yeah, she was up there singing.
Heard her play with a flower, but I was waiting on her to sing my back before I broke up with her. Anyway, that song she used to sing to me. But anyway, Gail said that she did research while she was up there. She had some plants about how they grow in microgravity for a school. I'm like,
She's
sorry.
a botanist?
I didn't see any of that happen up there.
They did nothing went for a ride.
They did research on how to insert and extract a buckle.
Yes.
And quickly get back in your seat before you start crashing to earth.
If crash test dummies was a science, then yeah, they made it, No, they didn't. They're not astronauts. We have people that trained for years to get up there that become astronauts, and they stayed in space more than 4 minutes. It's crazy.
If you think it's anything other than a billionaire's Disney World park ride, that's all it is.
They're space tourists.
That's all it. And hey,
good on them.
Good on them.
Yes.
I'm 52. I hope before I die that it has come down enough to where I want to at least do 2 or 3 laps.
Around
I want to come back.
Yeah.
They didn't even do a lap. They went up. You know how you can.
And they came back in the same window to land in the same spot.
You know how you can do the parabolic free fall in a jetliner? I actually think that's what they were experiencing the whole time. I think it was a parabolic fall that just made them feel like that they were in free fall for about 4 minutes.
But didn't the SR-71 actually go to the same orbit as this? And that guy was a pilot. He was not an astronaut.
Yeah. The SR-71 went high enough to where the sky turned black on him. And and that's what they've let us know what it can do. It can actually bounce off you can leave orbit in an SR-72.
But yes, these guys are not astronauts. Quit claiming it.
And
I love Wendy's statement to Katy Perry. Did you see that? Wendy's?
I'm sure I missed it.
Can you send her back now? Yeah, she's suing Wendy's.
Really?
Yeah, Wendy's is like, we're not going to take it back. Because we always add a little spice to our apps. I'm like, good on you guys.
Right.
Can we send her back now? Not just her, but all of them. But yeah, it's crazy that they think they can be labeled an astronaut because they stood in that little orbit for 4 minutes. No, not even close.
Man, I don't know about that.
That's no. So anyways, that was, did you see the OnlyFans girl? I can't remember her name.
What's OnlyFans?
It's that adult website.
Never heard of it.
Anyway, she has on the little news here. She goes, "Hey, I want to go up and do a space orgy."
See,
4-minute pop.
She's got down for about 8 or 10 of them. Anyway, I hope the Lord blesses her in many ways in life and she finds the error of her ways. But anyway, let me go up there before they start sending OnlyFans. I'll actually do some research while I'm up there.
Now, let's back it up a bit too. Wasn't Tom Cruise and Elon Musk talking about doing a movie?
Yes.
In space?
Yes. As far as I know,
I think it was last year they were talking about it and it made the news.
Except for the actual Apollo astronauts, Tom Hanks is going to be the first actual actor up there. That was a little hit at, we didn't go to the moon.
Oh, William Shatner's already been there. He went up on...
but not in acting.
Not in acting,
He Katy Perry did up there. That's, they did the same thing.
Yeah, no, they're not astronauts.
But yeah, Tom Cruise, I heard, is going to do a darn spacewalk. And
part of that movie.
That's actually going to be, what movie was that going to be?
I don't know. They didn't release it. They just said that they were in discussions to go up and film a movie. So he's going to have to do a few laps around the earth. I mean, to pull it off. But
maybe it's the next Top Gun and something happens to the plane and he's in that SR-79er. And it actually gets caught. And
it's so futuristic. We're in the SR-80.
The only way he can get home is to actually pull back the canopy, get out, climb around, and pull that dead squirrel out of the exhaust pipe. And so then he can come back down. I think that's the plot. Yeah. Yo, Jerry Bruckheimer, give me a call. I'll sell that idea to you. That's a good idea. Tom Cruise has to get the space squirrel out of the exhaust pipe.
Billy has migrated to script writer.
Yeah, hey man, I'd buy that for $1. That's good.
I'd watch it for $1.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean,
popcorn better be free, but I'll watch it for $1.
I can't afford to go to AMC and watch it, but I'll watch it at the house. Orville Redenbacher. Yeah.
Anyways, so Billy's writing a script, and we got the astronauts in OTS, and I think I'm about done with this story.
So I'll just add this one little part. You know me.
I know you got to have the last word on everything.
No, not that, because that's your forte. I don't want to ever belittle women or
they're not little. I think one of them was 6 foot.
No, I'm not belittling them. I'm what's it called? I need a woman to woman-splain it to me. It's
woman-splaining.
When you help me out, man. When I'm
give me a clue. Can I buy a vowel?
Minimizing their achievement. That's
their achievement.
Yeah, I don't want to minimize their achievement, right? But thank goodness we've had many female astronauts that have come before them.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if this was the first
set.
Yeah. Now, what they're claiming is this is the first all-female crew. Man, I guarantee you, there wasn't a whole lot of buttons and gear shifters and handles to operate while I think they were pretty much, they trained for 48 hours how to sit in a seat and how to get back in the seat quickly. That was their 2-day training. I guarantee it. Gail, Oprah said that she gets very nervous on aircraft when turbulence hits. I was like, they're going to have to clean the windows on that thing then, because let me tell you, that's a scary ride going up there. But so, yeah, it is kind of a laughing stock. I don't want to minimize what they did, but let's call it what it was. It was pretty awesome. Sign me up for the next one. And I'd love to do it myself.
Tourist. You're not an astronaut. You're just a space tourist.
Yeah. Let's call it what it is.
You saw what that thing was shaped like when they were taking off, right?
I had some comments. You know, I was like, I've always thought that was a very funny looking thing, and
full with 6 women going north.
I was like, man, I can't wait till the Simpsons get a hold of this and do their episode of it. So I'm sure
it's a shame South Park's over.
yeah. But anyway.
Oh, wow.
All right, on to the next one, shall we?
Yes, please. Let's get off that one. Holy cow. But hey, I've been, we talked about that, last week. Hey, I know what I want to talk about. I just want to get that one over. They're not astronauts. Again, not taking anything away from their achievement. They're just space tourists. They're rich space tourists that had the luxury to fly into low orbit and did not even go into space.
I feel they all was at a cocktail party one day with Jeff Bezos' wife, and she was like, I got a great idea. And that's how it happened.
Oh no, I mean, I'm sure after Bezos and William Shatner, they all went up. I mean, I'm sure his fiance, here, hold my cocktail. I got one for you. We're doing an all-female crew.
We're doing it.
No, I'll never get the estrogen out of that module.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about how they opened the door accidentally and how Jeff Bezos ran around the capsule and fell into the blast hole and almost broke his legs off. That was pretty funny.
Kind of fumbled with that tool to open the door, didn't even do anything, and the door just opened. They already had it open.
They already had it open.
Yeah, no, that's where everybody's saying it's fake. Oh, they didn't even go up. It's so fake. I almost want to throw the BS flag at that one.
When they do things like that just set those, those tinfoil hat people.
You know, out of all of that, that's probably the one thing that minimized that whole ride was them.
The door fumble.
The door fumble. That minimized that whole ride. It really did. Oh, what a joke this was. I mean, really.
And the fact that we were able to watch them from the ground the whole time. So, we don't feel like they went too high, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, today is April 21st. You're probably going to be watching this on the 22nd, and you will have already heard the news that Pope Francis has passed away.
R.I.P. Pope Francis.
R.I.P. Pope Francis. I'm not Catholic, and I have some insights and feelings about the Catholic Church that I've put out on this podcast from time to time in the Vatican and so forth. But anyway, I think it's time that we start talking about Bishop Malachy's prophecies, because supposedly
can you take the cover off your tinfoil hat for me?
Yeah. Okay. This may be the end days.
I really hate using this button on today, but go ahead.
Jimmy. Okay, let's not to break the button. The button goes on a little longer than I do. Anyway,
I know it doesn't.
So
it's just hanging in your outbox?
No, I never sent it because I figured y'all were going to go. I wanted y'all to go down your own rabbit holes. But anyway, Saint Malachy in the 12th century, he started writing down and predicting the future popes all the way until Judgment Day or Armageddon or the end of the Vatican Church, right? And so this was discovered many years after he wrote it, and looking back retrospect, he had nailed the targets. He names them by a name and something about them, so that you can tag that this is the Pope that he's referring to. And he was really dead on with these. The last Pope is after our current Pope, who just passed away,
Francis.
This next Pope is supposedly going to be Peter the Roman. It doesn't necessarily mean that he was born in Rome, but he has very strong ties to Rome to where he can hold the, non-official title as the Roman, right? And the next successor that we really think has the largest possibility of being the Pope is,
I do it in my Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Pietro Parolin is a possible next successor to the Pope. He's a 70-year-old from Italy, Veneto, Italy. He's played a key role in the Vatican diplomacy, and he has a lot of influence throughout the globe, right? So I think a lot of people are probably in his corner to do that. But anyway, in the prophecies of Malachi, he names all these popes, and he has been right on. Like this specific prophecy has been better than some of the things that Nostradamus has done. Anyway, there's some place in Italy, I don't think it's at the Vatican, but they've got the actual circles on the ceiling going around the cathedral that have all the popes. And there's only one free hole left after Pope Francis. So the next pope that is going to get voted in here in the next, sometimes it can take a couple of weeks to do this. He's going to be the last one to fill the spot. And so this next pope is supposed to deal with Judgment Day.
So what you're telling me is we're only going to have one more pope. We need him to be in his 20s.
His name should not be Peter, and we hope he's from like
US.
New Jersey. Yeah, exactly. Because then it blows the prophecy out, right?
Exactly.
They're like, okay, so this prophecy that's gone on for millennia is garbage. All right, we don't have to worry about prophecies. But so far, it's been very, very accurate.
I mean, when you say very accurate, has it been wrong ever?
So they're open to interpretation, like any great prophet would be, right? He'd be vague and stuff, but
wait. I got to back that up. All right, so let me get this right. Like any great prophet, he is vague.
Yeah. So here's number 12, right? The name that he gave him, number 12, was the Sword of Lawrence, right? Well, the cardinal who became the Pope was the Cardinal of Saint Lawrence in Lucia, right? Of whom the arms were carved, his coat of arms were the carved swords. So the Swords of Lawrence. It doesn't get any closer than that. You know how they have their own.
So they got one right. Doesn't mean they're all right.
I didn't say he only got one right.
Oh,
I gave you the first example that he nails it over and over and over again. The number 13, he will come from school. That next pope is Paolo Salari. He was a Roman of the house of Scalari. The motto is a play on words on Clement's 3 surname, Scalari. He will come from school, Scalari, right? So that's how they think he got that one right. Number 14, from cattle country, Giacinto Baboni Orsini. That was a pretty good attack. You like how I did that, right?
So I think I saw him in Yellowstone.
He was the Bovinesis family. The reference to cattle is a word play on Celestine III's surname, Babone, right? I guess that's a bovine, a cow.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I saw him on Yellowstone.
And so this guy just keeps nailing it, right?
He's not listening to me.
I do, but this
is more important than my joke.
In
the beginning we started this thing. You know, hey, he's got
what you
jokes.
were trying to do was minimalize my.
Well, Katy Perry, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Number 21, Jacques Pantalone, and his was Jerusalem of Champagne, right? So he was a Frenchman,
a tailor
from Troyes, Champagne. So he nails like where this guy's from. So the what's it called, the papacy or what? I don't know. Anyway, the people, the archbishops or whatever, that all to get together to vote, you know, of who's going to be the
cardinals
that are going to vote.
They go into the conclave.
The conclave's either reading this list and saying, "Oh, okay, has anybody ever had anything to do with cows? Raise your hand." Okay, is anybody from that? Okay, great. You stand over there, you over there, and now we're only going to vote because they're all on this list.
Even John Dutton?
No, John Dutton.
Well, you said cows.
Okay, number 26, a Tuscan fisherman. Formerly, the guy's name, John Peter, Cardinal Bishop of Tusculum. John the 21st had been the Cardinal Bishop of Tusculum and shared his first name with Saint Peter, who was a fisherman. And it's just little things like that. So this next one is going to be Peter the Roman. So he's going to have very close ties. He doesn't necessarily have to have been born in Rome, but his first name's going to be Peter or something very close to it and be from Rome. So we'll see. It's just watch of how many things come out about the Malachi.
And how long is the whole conclave process before the black smoke comes out?
It can take. I don't think there's a time limit.
No,
because I know the last one, the one that
Francis
did in
like,
2013. Like it went over a while.
Yeah, like 9 days or something. Yeah,
because I remember watching. I was like, no, it's still got the wrong kind of smoke coming out the chimney. So
yeah. So is there like a fire stoker inside the conclave, that's kind of like a priest?
they put something in there that makes the smoke come out a certain color. So yeah, this is a 900-year-old prophecy, by the way. Following the death of Pope Francis at the age of 88, a centuries-old prophecy by Irish Bishop Saint Malachy has resurfaced, predicting the end of the papal line and the arrival of Judgment Day in 2027. While the Vatican, of course, has not endorsed the prophecy, speculation grows amid the Church's transition. The death of Pope Francis at age 88 on Monday has reignited the global curiosity. Pope Francis was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, died after suffering complications, double pneumonia. He looked really bad on Easter. I mean, I was like, oh.
But he made it through. But yeah, I think of a day you're going to pass away on Easter.
That was kind of right.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to pick if you're the most religious guy in the world, you're head of the most religious organization in the world, and to pass on Easter, I mean, talk about your prophecy. That would have been one of those.
I know. And like when he got sick, he stayed in the hospital. Now, the Pope doesn't come out every day and stuff like this, but like nobody had seen him in a while. And I was like, man, he passed away. And they're just not telling people. They're trying to get their ducks in a row. They're trying to line up. They're going to announce in a couple of weeks that he passed away. And then an announcement comes back that he got a little better. And then an announcement comes back about a week that he degraded a little bit.
Yeah.
And then an announcement came back that he went home.
Yeah.
And that he was actually going to have an appearance on Easter, but they wanted him to rest, and he needed to take a couple more months to rest or weeks to rest or whatever, but he wanted to come out anyway on Easter. Maybe that was a bad idea. I don't know. But I actually had thought that he had already passed away.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go to hell for this comment. But the popes, I mean, they do they go to like the top 5 of the oldest cardinals alive and say, out of this top 5, one of you are going to be the Pope? Why do they wait till they've already got one foot on a banana peel, one in a grave when they've been chosen to be the Pope.
That the successors should kind of already be lined up like in a rank structure or something like that. There is a rank structure in there, but I don't know.
But I mean,
the wrong person to talk
seriously,
about this.
they're at the age. I mean, if you get a year or two out of these guys, fantastic. I mean, why are they not looking at some of these cardinals that are probably in their 50s or 60s, not in their 70s, knocking on 80?
That's part of the transition that they're talking about. It's not the transition I think they're talking about. I think they're talking about other things. But a lot of these successors that are probably in line when they're in their late 70s, man, should we go a little towards
can we go to the next guy?
Yeah, let's get a pope that's going to maybe hang around 30 or 40 years instead of a decade.
Yeah.
But if this prophecy is correct, it doesn't matter who you get next because he's only going to be around about 2 years. But will it be for Judgment Day for all of mankind on the whole planet, or will it just be Judgment Day for the Vatican Church? We'll find out.
And people would be surprised at how much power the Vatican actually has in the world pecking order.
It's basically its own country.
It is its own country,
military,
its own state. It's its own country. By
lot
far,
of people
I know that. I've
that.
actually been to the Vatican.
Yeah, I have not.
And
I've read things on the internet about it, and I have some theories.
We actually went on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
and listened to the.
I bet that was pretty awesome.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
but again, it's its own country. But the power that the Pope and the Vatican wield is absolutely amazing. They got more probably powers than some monarchies in the world.
I would imagine.
Even the president of the United States, the most powerful country in the world, kind of leans towards, the Pope.
Glenn Beck tells this really funny story about how he got to go into the Vatican archives for 3 hours, and he's with the head archive guy, right? And he goes down and he's with some other guy because they don't let you down there alone. And when he walks in, there's a room off to the side, and they go in, and Glenn says, "What's this room?" And the head guy that's been there, he's like, "I have no idea. I've never been here." You know, and so there's things down there that are not just Catholic or Christian artifacts.
They grab all the religious documents around the world.
Yeah, they have all the stamps from British kings. They have, if it's missing, it's down there.
So yeah, the scrolls from the pyramids, the Egyptian pyramids and stuff. You know they're down there. But it goes back. Did you ever see the movie Angels and Demons with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
The Robert Langston. I mean, when they went down in there, and it's like all these vaults and stuff. Every religious document from the
cool.
I know that's what I'm like from the beginning of time. Every
Yeah.
document from the beginning of time is down there.
Oh, there's the Holy Grail.
Had it the whole time.
Oh, it's right here.
And they've known it too.
Yeah, it's in bin 42. We had it on shelf 42. That's all right. There it is. Okay. Oh, it's right by the menorah of the. God. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
A small clerical
and
error.
Moses' shaft and everything.
They're like, oh, the
Ten Commandments.
But
It's all
the
in
inventory cards burned up in the house fire. We didn't know where it was at. So,
and their technology is probably some of the state of the art in the world. Cataloging everything, and
I don't think so.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know.
I would think they do. I think they're probably as close to their cataloging as Library of Congress.
Oh, you think there's like a mission control?
Yeah, and it's
in the Vatican.
They got the secret police.
They're like,
they got the secret police and everything. So
you think there's like a secret Vatican agents?
There
like
is
Mossad or something. Like a Vatican CIA agents.
Yeah, I know they got the secret police.
They'd be called the VIA.
Yeah, they got the secret police, but I'm just wondering if they got like their own SEAL team. A country really goes rogue, we'll just take it out real fast. We don't need the U.S. or UK or anybody else.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
And I'm surprised they haven't taken out the Church of England, because the Vatican and the Church of England have been going at it since the beginning of time.
They got qualms.
They got issues. They've been going at it since the beginning of time. So, absolutely.
Even though this modern text has generated considerable interest, most modern scholars dismiss it as political forgery from the 16th century intended to sway papal elections, right? The first 74 mottos appear rather accurate, while the remaining mottos become more ambiguous, kind of more vague, However, they still find ways to fit. You know what I'm saying? Prophecy has generated attention indirectly by appearing in some works of fiction, including Steve Barry's The Third Secret and James Rowling, The Doomsday Key. Gotta write that down to watch those. Let's see, don't want to forget.
Dude, do a screen capture and just put it in your photos. You have an Apple MacBook.
Okay, there you go.
See, I'm like, dude,
got it.
He's like pulling out his phone, taking a picture.
Sorry, man.
I'm like, what? You got a MacBook? It does everything.
Yeah, I just went way old school on it, and now I got all kinds of weird things going on. What did I do? Let's see.
I don't know. Church of England.
I know, but I'm trying to get to the important part of where it talks. Okay. The book says that Pope Francis will be the last pope before Peter the Roman. When Peter the Roman comes to lead the church through the trials and tribulations before the destruction of Rome and the final judgment. The final statement in the passage states, "And the final persecution from the Holy Roman Church, there will reign Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep and will be greatly persecuted, after which the seven-hilled city will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people." The end. So some interpret the seven-hilled city as Rome itself and see the rise of a figure like Peter the Roman following Francis passing as a fulfillment of the prophecy. However, a cryptic link is drawn from Pope Sixtus V's passage in the prophecy, suggesting that 442 years from his papacy, the world is going to end. And when you do that math, it comes out to 2027. Dig down that rabbit hole, start at Wikipedia, and then work your way a little darker.
So you're saying in 2 years?
In 2 years, it could be it. And we'll know in the next month or so, somehow this next guy is going to be Peter from Rome.
I was going to say, that's only if we get a PETA.
Or his sister was named Peter, or his whatever. Somehow he's going to be associated with the word Peter, and he'll be associated with the word Rome.
So when the conclave is finished, the black smoke comes up, and they announce the winner of the popehood as Steve. I'm really gonna we're gonna have a podcast that day, dude. We're gonna shoot down every your wild theories. We're gonna
break. Now you can action.
Yeah. Action take 2. So we already said action once. So yeah. Anyways, wow, this is so if you've not picked up on this, we actually had to come back and record part of this again. So our inept soundboard here. Well, we've got to clean some of the old podcast off and ran out of room, and so we videoed this stuff, but we didn't have any audio, so we're trying this stuff again. So again, if you've not figured it out, we're not professionals. And Timmy really fell asleep on the job, dude. You got to talk to him.
Dude, Timmy's gone. Yeah. Can you hear me back there in the quiet room? You're out of here,
Tim. Just pack your shit up, buddy. So, anyways, and I hate using Tim because I hope Tim Prophet he listens to this. He doesn't. Hey, Timmy,
not you, Tim.
Not you.
You
Tim.
do a great job.
Come on out, and I need you to hit the rims before I take the truck down to.
Matter of fact, Tim, I can teach you some production if you.
You want to be a production manager? Holy crap!
Great.
Yeah, we need.
Hey, we can cut a hole in this wall, put a little glass divider in there, so he can come through and tell us when.
Don't laugh. I may do that.
That's a good idea. We are to make that a window.
Little sliding window.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. I may make that happen.
See, you already got your wheels turning.
Yeah, the wheels are already going.
Dude,
so,
and again,
and this was not even on the original podcast. So again, our we're not professionals at this. So please, we're gonna try this.
We are absolute trained professionals. We had a lightning strike here. Weather's bad in Florida, and every once in a while it kind of gets you. How many pond pumps did?
I'm going to show you the sunshine out there. Yeah, we know bullshit when we hear it.
Jimmy's neighborhoods had like 3 of the fountains replaced because they keep getting struck by lightning.
Oh my gosh. And then John's house got hit by lightning and the roof, they put a hole in it. I mean, there's all kind. This is like a magnet for lightning strikes. Our neighborhood here
could be one of those ancient way lines.
And cheese and rice at the HOA. I mean, the Karens in this damn community. But actually, it's only like 5. I mean, 479 houses. Everybody's cool except for.
We are to do our own separate episode about your HOA.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Karen. Actually, there's a handful of Karens, but I'm going to say 90% of the neighborhood is really cool. Yeah. It's the 10% that drives you nuts. And again, it's 10%. Anyways, that's another episode. We're going to come back to that one. So, long story short, we'll hit it again here. So, Kristi Noem, our secretary of DHS, was robbed.
I don't see how somebody she just got robbed out in public.
She was at a restaurant.
How does that happen?
I don't know. You think she's got Secret Service? I think all the secretaries have Secret Service. And it's crazy. And I'm going to throw this out there. I hear they're going to create a Secretary of the United States Coast Guard, and I'm throwing my name in a hat. So all y'all to, push that at the chain. So anyways.
How will that affect me?
Dude, you're going to be right there with me.
So it's going to highly affect me is what you're saying?
Yeah, you're coming. I'm not doing it alone.
All right.
Somebody got to teach Coast Guard how to drive a boat.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Kristi needs an Army guy to keep him straight.
I'm Army.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I went in the Coast Guard to keep him straight.
Yeah, but you're...
I did as much time in the Army as you did.
Your many years of suntan lotion rubbed that.
You like that story, don't you?
I do like that story.
Yeah. So
Kristi Noem gets robbed at a DC restaurant.
Yes, and $3,000 in cash.
Newsweek: why Kristi Noem had $3,000. I don't care how much money she had. She had $30,000. I'd be like, well, who's she paying off?
I'm trying to figure out why. I'll be honest with you, because it's not in my category.
Right.
I don't even know who carries $3,000 on cash on them.
But I do know if you take more than 6 people to dinner in DC, you better have $3,000 to pay the bill. So that's probably,
good point.
Yeah.
Especially if you got a T-Rex.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's I don't know, $3,000 in cash.
Yeah, so I'm not concerned about the cash, but I mean, not an extremely large.
And I'm not concerned about her passport because she's been traveling in and out of the country.
But I would imagine that she has some kind of security detail or something with her.
Secret Service?
I mean, somebody wasn't watching, anyway. I don't know.
Maybe they were giggling. They're about to steal her purse. Watch, this guy's going to steal it. Oh, he did it. Yeah, look at that.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's pretty crazy. It's all over everywhere. So,
yeah. And, oh, well, hey, hopefully they find it and get it back. It must suck, though. Coming into the night, she goes to pay the bill. She can't find her purse. And Secret Service, looking at the agent, dude, I need to borrow your credit card.
Yeah. Maybe that's what happened. That's probably what happened. She got the bill, right? And she was like, I've got this. I've been robbed.
Yes.
I've actually pulled that before. Oh, I left my wallet in the other pants. Or, oh, that guy just robbed me. You don't mind getting this check, do you? I'll get you next time, buddy. I pulled that. So she didn't really get robbed. She just
wanted the agent to pay.
Yeah. Or whoever. Yeah.
Her aide. Just put it on the expense report. I'll sign off on them.
Whoever she was having dinner with, she's like, lifted in my other skirt. My bad.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think there's more to that story, but anyway.
Yeah. I'm still in awe that somebody just at a restaurant robbed the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Right. I'm sure it wasn't a stick up.
No, it wasn't a stick. No, they just walked in with a mask on. And
I don't know. DC's a rough town.
Not that rough.
Yeah.
I mean, for politicians it is, but it's not that rough. I
don't know. I didn't notice anything that was like,
there's nothing shady going on.
No,
we went to the Capitol.
I didn't feel uncomfortable one bit in DC. Now we're not in.
We're in the most protected building in the world when it comes to the Capitol.
What's that town that's right outside of Alexandria? I heard that's a little rough, right?
That's not bad.
But
I lived there when I was going to school there.
I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it is. And again, the metro there, the subway is actually one of the safest modes of transportation. We rode that thing at 2 a.m. and never had an issue.
Well, you never really hear about anything going on in D.C. until some naked guy jumps the fence at the White House and tries to outrun a Belgian Malinois. I mean, otherwise you don't, or you hear that, Secret Service stopped a car 3 blocks away and, blasted all the windows out.
You don't hear stuff in D.C. that you do in New York. New York, they're pushing people in front of the subway. Yeah, you don't hear about that in D.C.
You don't hear that.
No, I mean, D.C.
I'm sure there's things go on.
One of the cleanest and safest public transportations I've ever been on.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was spotless, everything that I could see.
I think the second probably most cleanest and safest was MARTA in Atlanta. Mm. Another subway rail system to get you around the city. I mean, that one's...
I haven't been in Atlanta in a long time. I'm sure it's...
Yeah, MARTA was clean and safe. Never had any issues in that. I mean, the only one, I'd be honest with you, I've ridden the subway in New York. That one's scary. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's people that do it every single day and no issues, but you just get that vibe
like
when
you're
you get
just-
on the subway and it's like, dude, that guy looks shaky. That guy looks, oh God.
It's like you're in another, when I see like video of it, or it's like you're in another realm,
yes.
you know, and you're just,
And, you know, and unlike Florida where, you know,
that only happens to you when you go to Waffle House.
yeah, exactly. You know, I mean,
Enter the other realm.
Florida and Texas, every other person has a gun.
Yeah.
You know, but in New York, only criminals have guns.
Right.
Because, you know,
Well, they should have more gun laws so that the criminals don't get guns. Don't the criminals abide by laws? Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's
Laws.
another podcast, but no.
Laws are for only law-abiding citizens.
Yes.
Laws do not affect criminals.
But
Keep that in mind.
So where in New York, you know, the law-abiding citizen can't get a gun
Yeah.
unless you're. I mean, you got to go through all kinds. You got to know somebody to
Yeah,
get
you
a
gotta
permit.
like be like golf buddies with the mayor, or something,
or the governor, or something like that.
So
But
there's ways to get
yes,
but-
or you got to
but
be
you're-
a bodyguard for a big celebrity or something. But,
right.
But you know, in Florida,
You have
Joe-
to have like a lot of a very specific reason to own a
exactly, you
gun,
got to have a reason
not
to
just
get
the
it.
Second Amendment.
Not somebody just
Yeah.
exactly. You know, whereas in Florida,
We need another gun because it was
on sale,
Father's Day.
Yeah, it was on Father's Day sale,
Yeah.
Christmas coming up, birthday.
Yeah.
You know, we get, you know,
I've got the same one, but I didn't have one for the left hand. That's why I needed another
so
gun.
you know, we're in Florida and Texas, you get a gun just because they're on sale, or you're just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I'm in the mood, I want to buy a gun.
Right.
You know, and you can carry them. You know, now Texas is a little different from Florida because in Texas they can open carry.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not a proponent of open carry. I think it's stupid. So it makes you the prime target. So
Do you know they do have an open carry in the state of Florida?
yeah, anytime you're on your way to or from hunting, fishing, and camping, and a gun range.
Gun range. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
So if you are allowed to open carry, I don't suggest you stop off at the 7-Eleven,
I-
then
I'm
Starbucks, then Target. Then,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
So
gotta go
just-
shopping.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, you're allowed to open carry under
and I've seen both avenues. I know people talk about open carry and concealed carry. Open carry invites trouble.
It does.
But I also hear open carry prevents trouble. Oh shit, he's got a gun. I'm not going to.
I give you
I'm not
one-
going to rob this Taco Bell today.
I give you one scenario which will turn you against from open carry. And this one scenario usually changes anybody's view that I have spoken to who thinks open carry is a good thing or cool. Right.
Well, I'm open minded. I'm willing to listen.
Here it goes. So I think open carry is more comfortable, right? By all means, carrying inside the waistband, especially if you're
Fat.
well
challenged?
insulated. You know what I'm saying?
Weight challenge.
Hey, I'm down 20 pounds, buddy. You can't call me fat no more. But anyway,
You're willing to put a thong on?
but no,
Then you're fat.
I wouldn't put a thong on. Anyway, we digress. Here's the scenario. I carry a firearm almost everywhere I go. Here's your scenario. You're in line at the bank, and now you're next in line at the bank. Bank robbers open the door and come walking in. You are the first person they see with your weapon. Your element of surprise is gone, and your element of surprise is everything.
So, I'm going to flip that scenario on you.
Yep.
You're the last person in line and they break in. They don't see
Your
you.
back's to the door.
Exactly. They come running past you. They don't even see
Yeah,
it. Now you're the guy that's going to save the day.
I'm still going to draw my weapon just as fast from inside the waistband as I am outside the waistband.
I get what you're trying to say. But,
Yeah, when
but
they
again,
walk in the door, they're going to see the gun.
I'm trying to be
And
open-minded, whereas
yeah.
I can see both sides of open carry, good and bad. There's numerous scenarios both ways. You've given one, but again, at the end
I
of the
think
day,
it just
I
comes down
think
to
it
it's more
prevents-
comfortable if it's open carry, by all means.
But
But I would never give up. I don't want you to know I've got a firearm. I have an element of surprise over you. That's one of the, that's a benefit I have over you. You don't know.
And I get it. I can see both sides, and I can actually throw out arguments for both sides. But
and
again,
you come up to me with a gun in my face and you want my keys and my wallet, you get them. Hey,
at the end of the day, it's about personal preference.
Yeah, I'm not going to shoot you over my keys and my wallet.
What are you more comfortable with? It's about personal preference.
It
really is.
Yeah, it is.
And so I can see both sides, and depending on the situation, it can go both ways.
But yeah, if you're hunting or fishing or trolling and you're going to work on your draw or whatever, yeah, you don't have to conceal carry on the way to or from those activities. Not in Florida. Yep. But again, don't go grocery shopping on the way to hunting or
to the gun range.
Yeah, because if you're
from the gun range,
you're grabbing a box of Cheerios off the top shelf of Publix and you're open carry, and Granny's going to call on you.
Again, it just really remember that time we were at that. And I won't give the name, but that little dive restaurant up there, and we saw a guy pulling up in Georgia on his little Honda, and he's open carry going into the restaurant. And it was like
a big shiny 1911 on it.
Yeah, he did. It was actually, oh, look at him. Aren't you the little badass on a Honda carrying? It's like,
that's fine, man. That's your thing.
That's your thing. No, and again, it's your personal preference.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It's just, where do you feel more and where are you going that, and not necessarily those places we mentioned where, hunting, range or whatever, but, just.
I just believe there is a high value in the element of surprise. So, but
there's also a deterrent from visibility.
Yeah.
So I can see both sides. And again, it's subjective.
Where was that guy? It was just in a news article probably a week ago. This guy comes in and robs a convenience store in Texas, and he is shot by every person in the store. There's 4 other patrons in the store and the cashier. They all had weapons. They all drew. They all shot the guy. It's like that dude picked the wrong day, the wrong time, the wrong store.
But again, here's how I look at it. If you're in the state of Florida or Texas, especially with the leniency of gun laws, because you can conceal carry without a permit in the state of Florida. Yeah, you can do the same in Texas and open carry in Texas with or without a permit. So you're going to assume that every 2-3 person has a gun. So
if you're smart, you are.
Yeah, and so
most criminals are stupid.
They are.
That's why they're
think
criminals.
That you're going to go and try to commit a crime in a public facility, whether it's a movie theater, a grocery store, or a convenience store, you're an idiot.
You are dumb.
You're an idiot.
But again, if you're out there just breaking the law, trying to rob people, you're already an idiot. So might as well be an idiot times 2.
Might as well be an idiot 6 feet under. So, but yeah, it's anyways. So what else did we kind of? Oh yeah, we were talking about Dick Van Dyke, and he's 99 and his wife is 53, and we're talking about the different ages.
That doesn't sound too weird, right? But what if he was 60 dating an 18-year-old like Anthony Kiedis? That's Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's 62 years old dating an 18-year-old.
And
that's the same situation.
I will say it. You should never date anyone younger than your kids.
Your camera just shut off.
My camera's still rolling.
Or my camera just shut off.
Okay, I'm like, better get your shit right. Oh!